new to the channel and you subscribe to the content that we're putting out, please make it official. Hit that sub button, leave a like, and straight up bully the notification bell. And just in case you haven't seen this week's episode or you just don't care, either way it goes, be forewarned, there will be major spoilers from here on out. Now, if there was any episode where we've witnessed the stakes piling up higher and higher against our team, it's safe to say you can count this episode as one of them. Like, if you really pay attention to most good stories, it's mostly always about how it's darkest before the dawn. And after really paying attention to this episode and how this dynamic works out, we can't help but wonder if Fitz, who's been missing for the entire season, mostly due to his shooting schedule on other projects, will play a significant role in ridding the Earth from the Chromicon threat. Or, case in point, Nathaniel Malik, who is our newest rising threat. And from the very opening scene, we witness him in the act of recruiting yet another valuable ally to his cause, not with any false promises or pretentious rhetoric, but with just enough proof to make what seemed like crazy talk actually seem plausible. Now, interestingly enough, young John Garret, who is actually played by Bill Paxton's real-life son, by the way, is immediately won over to Malik's cause, thus increasing Nathaniel's numbers even further.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man.
Alright, so the one thing that stuck out for me while watching this episode, well, there's actually two, the other of which we'll have to cover in the last segment, is just how out of whack the timeline has become. So we see as our team returns to the Lighthouse, which is an all too familiar setting, but the events themselves have drastically changed, and upon entering the Lighthouse, they are met by Roxy Glass, who has become a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and mentions the Triskelion featured in The Winter Soldier, putting its appearance years ahead of schedule. Now, Coulson does mention as much, and the team begins to formulate a plan to help Jaiying in Afterlife, which actually becomes a speak of the devil moment as her and Gordon appear in the Lighthouse.
He's hunting us.
Now what the fuck are we supposed to do?
While S.H.I.E.L.D. is trying to figure out their next move from the Lighthouse, Nathaniel Malik is in the process of perfecting a rather unique set of endeavors in Afterlife. With the help of a few former S.H.I.E.L.D. allies, and with a considerable amount of time stream info, Nathaniel has already developed a more efficient method of extracting inhuman abilities from its original owner to another willing participant, as well as know the future fate of every new ally in his cause. Like, for example, the mercenary Durant, who is being fitted with Lee's ability to summon blades, which actually brought to mind Hela, Thor's sister. His fate also ties into S.H.I.E.L.D., which proved to be a perfect match for Nathaniel's cause. Now, just before we see Durant's procedure, Nathaniel takes Garret to see the oracle-like Sibyl to view his future, in turn viewing the ill fate which would befall him, which, by the way, in both timelines, Garret has always held S.H.I.E.L.D. responsible for. And as chance would have it, Phil, Mack, Yo-Yo, and Gordon would be positioned just outside Afterlife, planning to infiltrate during his grim revelations about the future. And now it's only a matter of time before S.H.I.E.L.D. will become prey and become captured in Nathaniel's lair like a fly caught in the proverbial time stream web, allowing for the capture of young Gordon and the transfer of his inhuman powers into Garret. And in an ill-fated attempt to get free from a specialized holding room, young Gordon would use the last of his life force to teleport to freedom, hence dying in the process. But not before watching a full-powered Nathaniel and Garret venture off into yet even more chaos.
We're some real pretty shit now, man!
As much as Sousa seems to be outdated or square, at least he knows a thing or two about seizing second chances. After realizing the name that Daisy uttered during their capture at the hands of Nathaniel Malik is one and the same with the woman now in the base, he encourages Daisy to make peace with her, though she explains that her mother shouldn't know who she is yet, not to mention their unfortunate past, and also that it's too risky, due to ruining the time stream. But after a little more convincing, she finds herself face to face with her mother and is led to display her gift, revealing her true potential and possibly a piece of her true identity, with a little nudging from Sousa as well, proving once again though that he does indeed have her back. Now, after Daisy tells Jaiying a strange truth that she is in fact from the future, Sousa leaves to give them a little privacy. Daisy then shares the experience that she had with her mother, causing Jaiying to unknowingly explain the actions of a bitter and vengeful future self, in turn giving Daisy some more than likely needed closure, but not before leveling Daisy with the confirmation that she does in fact have an older sister. I thought this was a very fitting way to explore an otherwise misunderstood and conflicted character. Now, just after Jaiying's and Daisy's heart-to-heart, Malik and Garret teleport into the Lighthouse, pulling yet another nugget from the 7th episode with the Deek Squad's reference. And after the two part ways, Garret has a run-in with May, blatantly telling her that they're looking for a quote-unquote an open-minded girl to tag along, prompting us, the audience, to perhaps think he was referring to Jaiying. And right afterwards, we have a confrontation with Daisy, Jaiying, and Malik. He further spills the beans and lets the cat out the bag regarding Jaiying's future, and that it was Jaiying who was trying to kill Daisy, and that Daisy is in fact her daughter. Meanwhile, Coulson, Mack, and Yo-Yo set plans in motion to free the Inhuman hostages kept for their abilities, and to be honest, it was refreshing to see Yo-Yo back to her old but new improved self. Now, as we cut back to the Lighthouse, Malik is further antagonizing Daisy and Jaiying with the details of their now alternate timeline, and causes Daisy to lash out at Malik. He meets Vibe with Vibe, knocking Daisy back, telling her that if she does the math, he's possessed her powers longer than she's possessed them herself. Jaiying, doing only what a mother would do, tries to stop Malik through a power drain, but he breaks free. He warns her to not try it again, and when she does, he aims his Vibe power directly at her head, snapping her neck in the process. Just then, we see Daisy just about go Super Saiyan mode, just as May shoots Malik in the arm, causing him to flee. And just as Sousa and Gemma are walking down the corridor, Garret grabs Gemma, teleporting her away, who just happens to be the only individual holding the knowledge to stop the Chromicons.
You finished?
I'm sorry, Newt.
You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't your fault.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Well, that does it for this installment's concise breakdown of the most important details of the show. Make sure you stay tuned in to Content Meta for the upcoming breakdown and important details of next week's episode. And until then, see you then.